Hello, everyone back.
Yes, we are back.
Okay, we carry on. So talking about this Angarika. So Angarika also found an organization called Mahabodhi Society, especially for the purpose of redeeming the Buddha Gaya site from Hindu control and restoring to the pristine glory under the Buddhist custody. So he collected the fund from a variety of sources, and he constructed the many viharas in various Indian cities. Example, the Dhamma Rasika Vihara in Kolkata in 1980, and the Mula Ganhakuti Vihara in Sarana or Varanasi in 1931. So after a prolonged battle with the Hindu landowner, those Hindu are very staunch against Buddhist religion. They wouldn't let go of the land. Formerly, because the monk abandoned, these people took over the land and so belonged to them. And this Hindu landowner and the government of India, he has succeeded by the time of his death, before his death, to secure a substantial control of the Buddha Gaya temple. So he can be considered the greatest Buddhist missionary of his day. So for those visiting this Buddha Gaya, please share your thought about this Angarika. Because of him, then this Buddha Gaya is still around. If not, already under the Hindu control. So he also captivated foreign audience with his oratory, his talk, and appeal to his pithy and forceful lecture. If you are good Buddhist sort of person, you have a very good in talking and appealing to the mass of people. It's best if you be a Dhamma speaker because you're able to convince many people. Right? So in Buddhist circle, we are very lagging of this kind of people. So should one day you're somewhere, sometime it happened to you, please, with the blessing of Buddha, please go and take over and be a good Dhamma speaker. It will help a lot and the blessing will come upon you. So don't turn away. It's a very good opportunity for you people to participate in such thing. Okay, not everybody are trained speaker. Even myself, I can't even speak properly when my conducting classes by the very first time. It's only over practice and practice and practice and learning. You start gathering bits and pieces that you can start an audience with the people. Okay, so the people listening to you will able to understand what you try and put across. Okay, so if you are chance, please do that. So he was invited to participate in the Parliament of World Religions held in Chicago in the year September 1893. He is the only sole representative of representing the Theravada Buddhism. And in this lecture at this international forum, had a tremendous impact in America and earned him an international reputation. Okay, if you are good in that, a good speaker, you can command with those people listening to you, that he able to achieve putting especially Buddhist thing across to. Okay, so it's a very great deed that he did that. That's why very sad. We Asian, especially in my Singapore side, many of them become Christianity without blindly follow, without understanding. People follow, it's like a blind man first follow. So in America, those Americans start questioning, why should we blindly follow the Christianity faith? Okay, because they start having them, and why must they do that and practice that without understanding? So that's why in America they are blessed with this Mahana, Jana, Theravada, but this Vachana is very solid in America. So they're able to get those actors all the big shot to join their so-called sect. So he purchased a temporary residence in London in 1927 for housing the London Buddhist Vihara. Is now still around. Okay, so he started this temple at this London city, which became a reality eventually. Okay, that's why this guy also respected, because go around the world reviving Buddhism and start this Buddhist temple. The interesting story is that in 1931, Dhamma received ordination bhikkhu by the name of Venerable Sri Devamita Dhamma, and also higher ordination in 1933. Okay, later years coming towards his later towards a senior. So his health was declining, and he could not fulfill his aspiration as a bhikkhu. So he passed away sadly in April 1933. So he was not really a full ordained Wasa type of monk, but for a short period. But at least he get his wishes. So it's a blessing for him. So we consider him as a crusader for the revitalization of the national culture for the Sri Lanka. And he urged the local Sinhala Buddhists to abandon the alien traits. I mean, those foreign influence that were seeping into their lives. Instead, absorb the cherished values of the national culture and mold their lives on the moral foundation of Buddhism. That's why when you visit Sri Lanka, you, especially the rural village, you find those people very appreciative. Whatever you give them, especially small children, when you give them education kind of stuff, they really kowtow to you, no? Well, I feel very, 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 how you say, emotion that drive you, that you feel that even your own kid don't do that. They kowtow to you in front of you to give the books, the what school bag, all the stationery. That's why the Sri Lanka, they are educated in this Buddhist school, that they appreciate whatever given to them of whatever value. So Mahabodhi Society that he found is a testimony still around into his impact of the global Buddhism of the 20th century. Okay? That is about Angarika, both of them. So basically, one or two of them will be set for your examination. So can skip one. So must know them really well. Okay. So in Antarctica, it said Buddhism may be called a religion of analysts. You can all the religion. Okay. Buddhism never use blind belief, blind faith for you to understand. You are blind faith, you can call yourself the three Gnostic Buddhists. So in Buddhism, you have to open your mind, open your wisdom. So religion of understanding, it analyze every phase of cosmic phenomena. Whatever thing you can see upon, you come across, is a phenomenon for you to live on it. The constituents that go to make up a human being. Buddhism talk about what make a human being, Rupa. So when you go to Abhidhamma, you need to do these two essence, okay? And the differentiating state of mentality. In Abhidhamma also, what kind of Chittasika, what kind of mentality you having or possess at that very moment. It categorizes the differentiation of good, evil, and neutral, right? So Buddhism very straightforward. You do good, you do evil, or you do neutral. Neutral means you will not affect. Not like other religion, you commit evil, you go to the cubicle there, and you say you repent and you will never do it again. And when you do it again, you come to the cubicle and you do the same cycle again. So you still repent. No. Buddhism talk about karma. If you do anything wrong, your karma, you carry every seed of it, every now and then. So are you governed by the karma or governed by repenting at the cubicle? So you reject every phase of superstitious belief. That's why you become a Buddhist. When you talk about the our father, mother bring it down to us, and people telling to you, these are called superstitious belief. Okay? Oh, I see ghosts. Oh, down there have, down there have. Then you cannot do this, cannot do that. These are called superstitious belief. Okay? As I can tell you, if you follow the 5 precepts, you will have a very good one. The Chinese call who. That one can protect you from all evil. You live up to the five precepts, you are highly respected by all the invisible being. Okay, that's based on mere tradition, speculation. If you're going to study next coming chapter about what is tradition, father, mother, or parents are left behind, and people like to speculate. This and that, and you believe in it, then habis. Then revelation, think see, these are the word of God, can be changed. Okay, and then magic. This magic will make you transform yourself from poor to rich. And analogy, logic, authority, and collected discourses, and appeals to the purified heart to distinguish the good from the bad. Okay, we will do this in the next coming chapter, next session, about what you call what is good and what is bad. And to avoid anything that is correlated to covetousness, anger, and lust. These are those evil things which our Buddhists, we should not have this hold on to us. Okay? If you have this thing, example, you're doing good, you want to be number one, everything also want to be number one, all number one. You always like people to behind you. This is something wrong with you, You have all these, I mean, you are mentally sick. So Buddhists, should not have this mental kind of thought. You have this kind of thought, don't consider a Buddhist. Okay? These are all the evil. So you study all that just for your own gaining of knowledge. Don't always compare. Other people must be behind me. I always number one. This is very bad. And all is pure and free from covetousness, anger, and lust. Are productive. Okay? That means you are away from all these evil roots. And therefore, to be acted upon, such was the doctrine that the Blessed One initiated to the chiefs of the Kalama country. This is spoken by this Angarika Dhammapala. So next session, we will talk about Kalama Sutta. It's all about what is true during the Buddha time and still apply to our current time. So the significance of contribution made by Olcott and Dhammapala cannot be understood unless the student has some idea of situation prevailing in Sri Lanka from around 1880 to 1950. So you see the current state of Sri Lanka, you can't imagine back then it was so bad that Buddhism was almost disappeared from there. So in 1880, the British rule Sri Lanka and the Christian church, the British call it Christian church, is there another Christian sect of Christianity, which was all powerful. And Buddhists were converting to Christianity simply for survival. Okay, good example, according to what I heard from those people, during that period, when you want to work for public sector or you work for those government kind of related sector, you need to have Buddhist name, a Christianity name. And then you cannot say you are a Buddhist. You must convert yourself to a Christian. Then you can get a good job and good prospect for your career. So everything is under their Western control. So Buddhist children had no Buddhist school at all. So totally you are alienated from Buddhism. At all, the Christians have plenty particular Tamil Christian in Jaffna, and then the jobs are all taken by Christian. That's why we have to blame the British also. We can't totally blame the Sinhalese. Okay, they bring the Tamil from this India because they are good kind of labor. They're good in picking tea leaves. And in Jaffna, in the particular sector, all flooded with these Tamil people. That's why there's a conflict between the Tamil and Sinhalese when the British left. They always not happy with them because the Sinhalese considered the Tamil as invaders. So the story no end. So this is what happening, conflict in Sri Lanka, on and off. So Sinhala Buddhists were downtrodden and face a future without hope. So that is a status when the period when the British was there, totally there's no hope for Buddhism. So Sri Lanka was moving to become a Christianity country. The British came with guns in their hand, and the church followed closely behind them with the cross and the Bible in their hands. So it was then that Colonel Olcott arrived in Sri Lanka, and the powerful Sinhalese in Dhammapala ably supported him, and thus started the Buddhist revival and is continuing. That's why we thanks these two early revivists. Okay, they are the one who started the ball rolling. So when you study YMBA, just don't think it's everything come by itself. No, it started from there. So we have appreciate when you study YMBA, these two guys that started this thing. There's no YMBA in other places, okay? Not in China, not in Burma, not in Thailand. It's present from Sri Lanka. So you should be happy when you're studying YMBA. You know the history about YMBA, okay? So these are hard work of these two people that revive this YMBA for you to study. So you need to remember them. So to recap, how this Colonel Henry Steele Olcott, what he did is that under the foreign rule dominated by Christian churches, Buddhists in Sri Lanka had become disposed of second-class citizens. So Olcott started a massive process of restoring dignity to Sinhalese Buddhists. So that's how he started about. Then Dhammapala is an orator, good speaker also, help Olcott in his mission. So this is his companion. So both of them have to remember them. They set out together. Olcott set up the Buddhist Theosophical Society, which succeeded in establishing a series of Buddhist schools, which later became a leading school in Sri Lanka. And what next is designed to extract Buddhists. And he traveled around Sri Lanka encouraging Buddhists to rise and to earnestly practice Buddhism. And then he started the newspaper, The Buddhist. And he also managed to make Vesak a big holiday. Okay. And he got Buddhist registrar married. Last time all married in church, now married in Buddhist temple, thus ending the need of Buddhists to register marriage in church. And he also secured a 14-point charter accepted by the Mahayana and Theravada Buddhist leader in various countries. Right? This is a respected. If you are Buddhist, you must follow this 14-point charter. So he was born on 2nd August 1832 in New Jersey as a US citizen and became a military officer. He also an officer also a qualified lawyer. He was initially interested in spiritualism. Spiritualism means talking about religion. In 1875, he founded the Theosophical movement in New York. And he moved to Ayr in India to continue the movement. And this Madame Blavatsky him, having read a report on a debate between Buddhist monk and Christian priest in Panadura, Sri Lanka, he got interested in this Buddhism and Sri Lanka. So he came to Sri Lanka in 19 May 1880, and he and Vasky became Buddhists. So in 1880, he set a Buddhist Theological Society in Sri Lanka, which established a series of Buddhist schools. So in 1884, he got a governor to declare a public holiday for Vesak, and he passed away on 17 February 1907 at the age of 74. So in most Buddhist schools such as Ananda, Nalanda, Mahinda, etc., an alms giving is held on 7 February to remember him each year to confer the merits of Colonel Olcott. So that's why how this Singhali treated him as a great reviver. Next one, recap on this Angarika. He continued the Buddhist revival started in Sri Lanka by Olcott and is a close associate of Olcott and initially was his translator. He campaigned against alcohol and meat consumption. He was the most powerful orator of the day, good talker, and traveled around Sri Lanka giving confidence to all Buddhists to awaken. So he promoted nationalism, revolt against colonialism. Okay, so he popularized the journal Buddhist in India, Europe, America, and Australia, and he traveled widely in the world taking the message of Buddhism. And he also did a great job in protecting of Buddha Gaya and the formation of Mahabodhi Society for his projects. And he established the Dhammapala Vihara in Calcutta and Mula Gahatuti Vihara in Sarana. And in 1893, he attended the Parliament of World Religion in Chicago. So in 1927, he bought the land for the London Buddhist Vihara. In some way, he was the father of Sinhala Buddhist nation of modern times in Sri Lanka. So these are the two great guys. So YMBA asked you to study this. So you die also must know. So no way you can escape. So further back, Dhammapala was born in 17 September 1862 to a wealthy Buddhist family. And when he was 20 years old, he became committed to celebrate and took the name Angarika. He never became a family man. He is a bachelor. So he became a monk in 1933 with the name Venerable Sri Devamita Dhammapala. He passed away on 28 April 1993 due to ill health. So work for you guys again. Brother Go not around. So Sister
Okay,
Sumita,
I will
your
do.
turn.
Yeah, I will do. Thank you.
So both of them, the actual question asked one of them, but I want you to do both of them. Okay?
What? Brother Lau, what?
What?
Oh, I have to do both of them lah. I thought you say Sumita and myself too.
No lah, you lah. Now just start. Okay, your homework. So next session we'll study the authority. What is true? Okay, so with this we end this this session, and I'll send to you later. Sister Teo, your presentation.
Okay. Good afternoon, Brother Lau, Sister Dory, Sister Sumitra. This is my presentation. The topic is Explain the Middle Path Majjhima Patipada expounded by the Buddha in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Next slide. So the background of Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the setting in motion of the view of the Dhamma, is the first discourse given by the Buddha 2 months after his enlightenment. It is a very important sutta for the Theravada Buddhism. It encompasses the essence of Dhamma preached by the Buddha, and it shows us, the Buddhists, the way to enlightenment through practicing the middle path, Majjhima Patipada. Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta was first preached by the Buddha at Deer Park at Isipatana, Deer Menaris. At that time, the Buddha addressed the 5 bhikkhus as below. There are two extremes, anta, which should be avoided by a recluse. The constant attachment to sensual pleasures, kama sukali kanu yoga, which is low, hino, vulgar, gamo, worldly, photogenico, ignoble, anario, and unprofitable, anatta sanghito. And the constant addiction to self-mortification, atta kilamatanu yoga, which is painful, dukkha, ignoble, anario, and unprofitable, anatta sanghito. Avoiding these two extremes all because the Tathagata has realized the middle path Majjhima Patipada, which promotes vision, knowledge, peace, higher wisdom, enlightenment, and Nibbana. Next slide. The middle path. The middle path that the Buddha has realized is the Noble Eightfold Path, namely right understanding, samadhi, right thought, sama sankappa, right speech, sama vacha, right action, sama kamanta, right livelihood, sama ajiva, right effort, sama vayama, right mindfulness, sama sati, right concentration, sama samadhi. Next slide, please. The Four Noble Truths. After presenting the middle path, i.e. the Noble Eightfold Path, the Buddha explained the Four Noble Truths. The truth of suffering, dukkha satcha, the truth of origin of suffering, samudaya satcha, the truth of cessation of suffering, nirodha satcha, and the truth of path leading to cessation of such suffering, magga satcha.
Hold on, Sister Teo.
Yeah?
The Noble Eightfold Path is actually the fourth point. The truth of leading to cessation of suffering. You should put that under when you explain what is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Understand?
Huh? Sorry.
What you put the Noble Eightfold Path is actually the fourth point, the path of leading to cessation of suffering. You should put that when you explain the fourth point. Understand?
So that means I should put the Noble
later
Eightfold
on
Path at the end.
on
Okay.
the fourth point when you explain the fourth point.
Okay. All right. Okay. Got it. Thank you. Okay. These four truths occupy the center of the Buddha's teaching because they already are the central to human experience. Everyone knows the feeling of or loss or conflict in their lives. This is what the Buddha calls suffering, dukkha, and it covers a whole range of meanings and nuances. Okay, the next slide. The truth of suffering. Birth is suffering, aging is suffering, sickness is suffering, death is suffering, association with the unpleasant is suffering, dissociation with the present is suffering, not to receive what one desires is suffering. In brief, the five aggregates of grasping sufferings. Next slide. The noble truth of origin of suffering. Craving is the origin of suffering. It produces re-becoming, rebirth accompanied by greed, finding fresh delight here now, finding fresh delight now here and now there, namely craving for sense pleasures, kama tangha, craving for existence, bhava tangha, and craving for non-existent vibhava tangha. Next slide. The truth of cessation of suffering, the complete cessation of that craving, giving it up, relinquishing, liberating oneself from it, and detaching oneself from it. This is equivalent to attaining Nibbana, the sublime state beyond all sufferings, a state of complete peace, joy, and happiness with no possibility of rebirth in any of the 31 planes of existence. Next slide. The noble truth of path leading to the cessation of suffering, there are eight factors: right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Next slide. Okay. Sorry, before that. Go back. The Noble Eightfold Path can be grouped under three foundational and gradual practices: morality, sila, concentration, samadhi, and wisdom, panya. Next slide. Right understanding or right view. It is the understanding of the nature of the suffering, its origin, its cessation, and the path leading to its cessation. If one does not have the right understanding, well, one will not follow the path. Therefore, right understanding is considered as the forerunner of all the factors. It is really a prerequisite of the path and an indispensable factor to the progress of the path. Right understanding is explained as having the knowledge of the Four Noble Truths. When one has understood suffering, the origin of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and the way leading to the cessation of suffering, he here and now makes an end to the suffering. In that way, he has a right view and has arrived at the true Dhamma. This is mentioned by the Samadhi Sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya. Right understanding leads to clear thinking, eliminates wrong ideas. The second factor is right thought. Right thought serves the double purpose of eliminating evil thoughts and developing pure thoughts. There are three right thoughts. Nikama, renunciation. Renunciation of worldly pleasures or selfishness, which is opposed to attachment. Salah. Renunciation of worldly pleasures or selflessness, which is opposed to attachment, selfishness, and self-possessiveness. Second, abhyapada, loving kindness, goodwill, and benevolence, which is opposed to hatred, ill will, and aversion. Third, avihimsa, harmlessness or compassion, which is opposed to cruelty and harshness. The third factor is right speech. When one's mind is endowed with right understanding and right thoughts, it does not produce a mentality which leads to wrong speech, which accomplishes of lying, slandering, harsh words, and idle thought. Wrong speech leads to cheating, dishonesty, disharmony, hatred, anger, and empty gossip. Right speech brings about truth and trust, friendly and benevolent talks, pleasant and polite talk, meaningful and useful talk. Next. Right action. When our mind is endowed with right understanding and right thoughts, it does not generate greed, hatred, and delusion, which find expression through wrong speech and wrong bodily actions. Instead, it produces non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion, which find expression through right speech and right bodily actions. Right action deals with abstinence from killing or harming others, stealing or taking what is not given, sexual misconduct. These forms of right action of the middle path clearly lead one to protect human rights, the right of living peacefully, and the right of having properties. The fifth factor is livelihood. It is a livelihood which should be earned through righteous, honest, blameless, and rightful professions. Here are 5 kinds of trade that to be given out in the right livelihood that are trading in arms, trading in human beings, breeding animals for slaughter, selling intoxicating drinks, and selling poison and chemicals. The sixth factor is right effort. Right effort provides a preliminary step towards the proper mental cultivation. That is to increases wholesome and skillful states of mind, such as non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion, and reducing unwholesome and unskillful states such as greed, hatred, and delusion. 4 kinds of right effort: Chattaro Samapatthana, effort to prevent the arising of unskillful states of mind, effort to overcome and abandon unskillful states already arisen in the mind, effort to produce skillful state yet arisen in the mind, and effort to develop skillful states already arisen in the mind. Next slide. Right mindfulness or attentiveness is a further conducive step to facilitate the development of concentration, stillness, or composure of the mind. By paying diligent attention to mental and physical phenomena, namely the 4 foundation of mindfulness will result in eradicating the misconception with regard to desirability, Subha, so-called happiness, Sukha, permanence, Nitya, and immortal soul, Akta, respectively. The four foundations of mindfulness are activities of the body, Kaya Nupassana, feelings, Vedana Nupassana, activities of the mind, Chitta Nupassana, and recollection of the Dhamma, Dhamma Nupassana. Next slide. Right concentration is the last factor. Right effort and right mindfulness lead to the right concentration, composure, and one-pointedness, unification of the mind. A concentrated, composed mind acts as a powerful aid to see things as they really are by means of penetrative insight. There are four concentration levels that could be attained through practicing meditation. First jhana accompanied by initial application, sustained application, joy, happiness, and one-pointedness. Second jhana accompanied by joy, happiness, and one-pointedness. Third jhana accompanied by happiness and one-pointedness. And fourth jhana accompanied by equanimity and one-pointedness. Next slide. The Buddha proclaimed with respect with things unheard before that there arose in him the vision chakku, the knowledge jhana, the wisdom panya, the insight vijja, and the light aloko. He also proclaimed that only after he had fully gained the true, absolute true knowledge regarding the Four Noble Truths under the three aspects and 12 modes, he acknowledged that he had gained the incomparable supreme enlightenment. The three aspects are existence and nature of the truth, Satyayana, the function relating to the truth, Kichayana, and the accomplishment of the truth, Katayana. So the existence and nature of the truth, Satyayana, are identical for all the four noble truths. So for the noble truth of dukkha, dukkhaṃ arisaccaṃ, the function is the need to fully understood the function is the need for it to be fully understood. The accomplishment is the fact that it has been fully understood. For the noble truth of dukkhaṃ samudayam ariya satyam, the function is the need for it to be fully eradicated. The accomplishment is the fact it has been fully eradicated. For the noble truth of dukkhaṃ nirodhaṃ ariya satyam, the function is the need for it to be fully realized. The accomplishment is the fact that it has been fully realized. For the noble truth of dukkha nirodha gamini patipada ariya satyam, the function is the need for it to be fully developed, and the accomplishment is the fact that it has been fully developed. At the end of the discourse, the earthbound deities, devas, brahmas rejoiced. There arose in Kondanya the pure and stainless eye of insight, having understood that whatever is of a nature to arise is likewise of a nature to cease. Sorry, next slide. Yang kinchi samudaya dhammang evang tang nirodha dhammang, of a shade of seeing things in their true perspective. Yata Buddha Yana Dasana. So in conclusion, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta is an important sutta that all Buddhists need to learn and comprehend. Through this sutta, the Buddha had clearly told us to avoid sensual pleasures and self-mortification, but to follow the middle. The Buddha has expounded the Four Noble Truths to let us know the suffering, its origin, its cessation, and the path leading to its cessation under the three aspects and 12 modes. It is now our duty to follow the Buddha's teaching, practice the Eight Noble Path till our final liberation. That's all. Thank you.
So
Okay,
thank you, Sister
your
T.
internet broken in between. Many things not heard properly. Okay,
I didn't.
if you can produce this, except only the situation, you must put a noble effort part in fourth one, the 4th point. Then it's all right. If you can remember all this, very good for you. I can say that you can easily score the 20 marks. So how much you can recall and write on that day is yourself. I can't say anything, but if you can come up all this material out, list out, no way it can stop you getting the 20 marks.
But I
Okay, so
think
good work.
the brother Lau, actually the question asked what? I actually taught everything, but I was thinking maybe
We
the
essay one will
huh?
be easy for them to share.
I
last
share
time
with you,
you
but my question is actually what main gist that need to be
actually
written
the
in
last
this?
table very hard for you to remember the last table.
Mhm.
If you can put all the point down there, there's no way they can stop you from taking the 20 marks. So at middle path
But
actually the 4 noble truth and then the eightfold path. That's all. And you need to explain the point. That'll be sufficient good for you.
but do we need to write the eight for path every individual to explain or no
You
need?
read,
Just
you need to list out the actually Buddha is talking about the suffering, the 4 noble suffering. Then you explain point by point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the fourth one, you need to put in the eightfold path. That's all. Easily 2 to 3 pages. I tell you, there's no way you can write less than 2 pages.
but do we need to explain the eightfold path in the
It's at the
individual
4th point.
factors?
You need to bring eightfold path at the 4th point. Cessation of suffering. You need to bring eightfold path into the cessation of suffering. That's all.
Oh,
Brother
okay.
Lau,
Then need to explain.
But your slide is good for you for doing revision. Okay, when you do revision of all these things, your slide very useful. You can recall back all those things.
But Sister
You get what I
Sumita,
mean?
can you help me to add in one? There's one typo error.
I can't hear you. I don't know what you're
There's one
talking.
typo error. The earlier one.
This one,
Pari
the next slide.
Nanti.
This one, I don't know how you get next slide. This table, I don't know how you can come out. Remember all this stuff because this one is very in-depth one. Actually, no need to put this. Can skip
No
this.
need. Oh, okay.
No need,
Okay.
So you write until there. Easily 3 pages. Cannot escape one. 3 pages, I guarantee you 3 pages long. So you put all these
Okay.
points, the 4 suffering, and then explain point by point. Then the last one, the cessation, the 8 noble path. You can easily get the 20 point.
Okay.
Because YMBA is not the kind of no compassion. They always give you full of compassion. As you write something good, understand by them, they find it's all right, they will accept it. Okay, so good work. You can follow this
Okay.
trend. This for middle path.
Okay.
Anybody want to put any more comments?
excuse me. This is what I found in the internet about the 12 aspect. So the four truth, the four truth
Yeah.
is such.
Then you must
It
explain
has,
each of these truth.
So it is actually the 3 phases is at the theoretical part, like what sister had already mentioned, and then the practical part, and then last one
You
is
must
the
explain first noble
realization.
truth,
Yes,
second noble truth, third noble
yeah.
truth, and the fourth noble truth is about cessation of suffering. You have to bring in the eightfold path.
Okay.
You understand?
Can I use answer like I give the introduction as
You
what
use
are the
PowerPoint, because it's an essay. If you put the point presentation and elaborate on it, they will accept. Okay? Basically, if you put all this and ask them to digest it themselves, not appropriate. Because Brother Ko used to be our technical form. So I would recommend you writing essay. You can put your instruction, then explain point by point. It's okay. I never stop you from doing tabulated point. Okay, essay is another form of doing it.
this is actually Sister Teo's essay. We'll put it into the classroom later. She has a very
Yeah,
thorough,
that okay lah.
yeah.
If
Yeah,
you
this
can
is her work.
reproduce this one, it'll be all right. Easily 3 pages, I guarantee you, 3 pages.
She did 6 pages.
Then you see, because you over put that thing, I don't know whether she can remember everything. You can reproduce exact copy, so full mark. So you
No,
see, during the
this
day
is
exam,
assignment
whether you can
purpose.
reproduce the same thing.
This is assignment
I think most
purpose,
of us
not
can't
for
do it
exam
unless you have
purpose.
very good memory. Okay? You copy and paste it, very simple. But to reproduce during exam hall is another thing. Okay? You're stressed, and then hopefully you don't blank out.
I
Don't
see
laugh
the
lah.
assignment
You
as
take
the guide,
already 3
yeah,
exam,
as a
don't
framework
worry
for
lah.
us to work on.
But your next year lah. This is for butter and the pig leg. Where essay question, please write in essay form, because if you can do tabulated all that, examiner will love it. The way the mark easy for them to understand. This is the way they conduct in Pali College. That's why I try to explain to you. Essay questions like this. It's no more in year 1, year 2, 3 sentences, 4 sentences can clear all. No more already. You need to have some standard. Okay, so practice writing. All right, any more questions? So not difficult because this 4th year one, almost all the topic cover, all the topic will be set. Unlike in year 1, year 2, year 3, they make a rojak everything of it. So this one, they can't escape. This question all every year, whatever pattern they change, still the same thing. It's only how they face it only. You get it? Any more question? That's why I want you to practice to make you get a hand on it, how to write say properly. I hope you understand. I'm not forcing you, because by doing it, you got improving each day. So every session you will come a better thing.
I think it's good, right now.
I hope you can remember. You got 1 more year to digest it. Unlike the other two. Should be June 4th week, 4th Sunday. Then you have your exam.
Okay.
You also expect to get result anytime now.
Oh, okay.
Yours no problem 1 year to digest. No problem. So anything? If nothing, we'll close the session. Because this one is short one. And then the following one will be long one. And then the Dhammapada, I think need about quite a long while. Dhammapada quite a long while. Okay or not? Any more question? No more, Sister Sumita can close session.